I'm dying and I'm 22 and this is how I found out. You know what's absolutely okay, I started off this day absolutely perfectly. I was like, okay, let me take a little walk. I knew that I had my infusion later, and like nobody likes to go to their infusions, and afterward I knew I was gonna feel exhausted. So I was like, let's take a hot girl walk, like let's enjoy weather, get yourself a little matcha. And I sat there and I wrote in my diary about dying. I wrote about how autumn is just about death and how my whole life has just been a series of tiny little deaths, but that's just what life is. Little did I know, like subtle foreshadowing, bro. I got some stuff for Dia de los Muertos, and then I went back to my dorm, got ready, and then my mom picked me up for my infusion. This is my baby sister, love her. And my mom was actually early to pick me up, so I actually went to Trader Joe's and picked up a bunch of stuff. I actually had the flowers for Dia de los Muertos, which I was really excited about because I pretty much never see these and I wasn't able to get them last year. So if you guys aren't new here, then you know that I always bring lidocaine spray when I go to my infusions, and I sprayed my elbow or like where they inject me. I was telling the nurses how excited I was that this medication was finally working because it's basically the first medication that's ever worked for me. And I've been diagnosed for a while. Within a minute of them plugging me in, I can feel it in my stomach, and the next thing you know, I can feel it in my chest. I feel like someone's stepping on my chest. I feel like I can't breathe. I feel something in my head, and I start coughing, and I just look over at them, and I'm like, so they rush over, they immediately unplug me and start administering me other meds because they're like, you're having an allergic reaction, and she just looks at me and she's like, you're never getting that med again. And I'm like, I know. Obviously, they paged my doctor at the same time. Blood results from previous blood work came back and it was looking really bad, and my doctor let me know what was going on. Very difficult for me to talk about that. Obviously, I'm still processing the news, so I went back to my dorm and pretty much just watched Love is Blind. For some insane reason, I also decided to do my bulletin boards because I was like, hey, like if I'm gonna die, I might as well do these now. I don't know, I was finding strange ways to cope. So my friend Trey came over with an emergency pizza. They also finally got to meet my cat, which was amazing because they'd never met my cat.
18, I was diagnosed. I was sat down with my family and basically told that if we did not start treatment, I basically had 2 years to live. Don't wait till you're dying to do your bucket list. Do it now. My name's Emily Cullen, 24 years old, and I live in Australia. I am more than my illness, but I want to explain it. It's such a rare, like really rare disease. Generally speaking, I think a lot of the papers say that from 6 to 9 years from diagnosis, there's quite a high fatality rate. So it's very, very rare. So my AAG was really lately diagnosed, was not picked up. We knew I had something going on, had lots of organs failing, but we actually didn't know why. What makes my disease terminal is the damage is done. We can no longer fix those issues, and I am too sick to go through the treatments. 18, I was diagnosed. I was sat down with my family and basically told that if we did not start treatment, I basically had 2 years to live. I developed osteoporosis quite badly. The steroids impacted this incredibly. My bones like crumbled. Actually fractured my sternum twice in half. First time I was just fell asleep leaning against the hospital rail bed, and I woke up like it was just literally seconds and I had cracked it in half, which sternum bone usually is like really, you've got to go through something really traumatic for it to break, like a car crash. After that, I also fractured my spine. So the reason I have like my whole spine is fused, I don't know if it's scar or anything, but my whole back is fused from C7 to L4 because I had lots of cross fractures in my mid spine, which then caused severe kyphosis and scoliosis within probably like 3 years. It seemed to happen so quickly, which was crushing my lungs and heart. I don't produce saliva, like I said. I don't produce sweat. I can't really regulate my temperature. It's also caused bladder failure, so my bladder up here on my belly button. My bladder's my appendix. I did everything right, and I still got sick. But the longer it goes on, to be sick at 22 and getting sick prior, I think I always had hope. But lately, that hope is fading. Lately, watching my peers around me live makes me so happy. So happy.